Hello everybody and thank you for joining us. Welcome to our latest community update video. We do these things on a fairly regular basis to make sure everybody stays in the loop on all things VeVe. Everything said here is just for community update purposes and not financial advice. That said, I'm Alex from marketing and I'm joined today by product director Mitch Mak, co-founder and COO Dan Crothers, and co-founder and CEO Mr. David Yu. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing well.
Very well, thank you.
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, so great. You may have noticed a new vibe around here. Well, let me be the first to welcome you to a new era of VeVe. On behalf of the team, we want to thank all the collectors for your support and feedback over our first 2+ years of business. With any startup, we've had, especially those with new industries, we've had some fair share of growing pains, but we have a lot to be proud of. And be it those top tier licenses, incredible collectible first appearances, and most of all, our amazing community. This is something we've been working towards for some time. So while today is exciting for us from a brand perspective, please know that we don't expect the new logo and a color scheme to serve as a band-aid and a pat in the head to all those patiently waiting for some key features to be delivered. But before we get into all that, let's talk a little bit about what all this actually means. There have been a lot of aspirations shared by our founders and team members since the early days, whether it's to be a household name or to be the Walmart of NFTs. But in order to get anywhere close to those, what must come first is a solid foundation. The brand and its mission must inform everything we do, from marketing to community engagement to product development and beyond. And after all, like all of you, we are #CollectorsAtHeart, huh? Come on. David, everybody knows that we love collecting, some more than others. You. But tell us what it means to make the spirit of collecting our North Star.
You nailed it before when you say collected at heart. Our mission in VeVe is to get every collector, and we believe everyone is a collector, one part or the other through their life. When you're young, if you collect something from comics, from books, anything, that I believe that when you own 3 or more of anything in that bag, you collect, or shoes, your mom loves spoons, you love stamps, comic book. Like I say, everyone is in the heart, and the beauty about VeVe is just, in another medium, bringing these to you in digital formats. So we're very blessed to have the community. We hope you guys enjoy the journey, and it's just starting a great new 2023 here.
Awesome. Dan, can you talk about how this process may have reshaped, or rather focused, our outlook on the future of VeVe?
Yeah, I mean, probably going back 4 or 5 months ago now, we, coming into 2023, as I think we communicated to our community before, is that, this year for us is really about nailing down that absolute collectability of our products, and then also really reaching out to collectors right across the space, from physical, digital, everywhere. And part of that is, as you mentioned, Alex, is, really defining what our mission is, defining exactly, what is the best thing we can offer to collectors out there. And a big part of that was, refreshing the brand. I mean, the current brand we've got has served us very well, but it was honestly something that I think I did like 3 years ago, because we're like, we need a logo. So, we just banged it out. We never really went through a really in-depth sort of deep dive into the logo or the rebrand design. So it's been a very, very exciting process, just learning from everybody in the team, everyone on the call here, exactly what we want VeVe to represent, and how we want the community to engage with the new brand. So yeah, a couple of things I'd just like to touch on. So number one, we have a new word mark, which is the VeVe letters. We really wanted it to be fun, but also professional's not the right word, but secure and yeah, I guess professional, but also just, yeah, still capture that that fun of collecting. And then the second part of the new logo rebrand is the motif, right? So This was a really fun exercise. So we've come up with the, little heart shape motif. And for us, this represents quite a few things. I mean, number one, it's a V to represent VeVe. Number two, it represents a heart. As you and David mentioned, we are collectors at heart, and that's something that we really want to convey to the community. And then thirdly, it somewhat represents a shield as well, because we want to make sure that the product that we're offering is safe, it's secure. We're working with these top tier brands. So these are the kind of the three things that we really wanted to imbue into the motif. So overall, very, very happy with how it's come out. And also, as Alex touched on, this is going to go right through our marketing, our branding, and really stepping up the quality of the content that we put out for you guys.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun in this process, just coming through, the very early iterations of what the heart device could look like. It went through several different iterations to get to where it is now, into something that we really feel encapsulates the spirit of the app and where we want to take it, right? So, as Dan mentioned, it was a process, but it's something that we ultimately feel it's not just a color scheme and a logo. It is really a spirit, and will inform everything we do from here on out. Mitch, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you.
How does something as maybe seemingly trivial as branding or a tagline inform how we approach product development, especially given how passionate our community is about wanting to see steady trajectory for the platform?
I think this is an evolution, in my opinion. I think it gives everyone in the team a real sense of pride in going from where we were into where we will go, forward trajectory. So in line with that, I think, from our perspective, this is something that the team is really, really excited about. And they're very, very, very happy to continue the trajectory that we're currently already on, right? So it's not something trivial. It's something that actually galvanizes the entire effort together. So as we evolve, we're going to see evolution in our ability to continue to deliver the best quality services and products that we possibly can on the digital scale.
Awesome. So obviously you're still fairly new to the team, right? And so you've really kind of getting your hands around all of the processes and really implementing, the development cycles, etc. I know we've said a few times either on a Spaces AMA, or Reese has been on some AMAs as of recently, talking about the whole 2-week cycle thing. Can you add a little more color to what that means from a product development standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. I think first and foremost, I think we need to start looking at things as from a quarterly reference perspective. I think it's really good to give the community and the VeVe fam a very good idea of what we're intending to do in a very specific amount of time. And so from a development standpoint, if we look at it from a quarterly point of view, what we can say is if there are 2 weeks delivery cycles in every quarter, then what we're looking at is 2 times 4 releases of code each month. And what's going to happen is from in the background, what's going to happen is each release of code might contain a feature release, it might contain enhancements, and it might contain enablers that will allow us to continue the momentum forward.
Great. That was going to be my question. It doesn't mean that there's going to be new features every 2 weeks. It means that there's code base enhancements and things that will basically keep us on that trajectory for new products. And
yeah, that is absolutely correct. It's always about the momentum. It's always about making sure that things are operating the way that they should be, firstly, most importantly. And we're also monitoring the various kind of community channels, right, to see if there's something on the side that we haven't picked up that the community has. And in my interactions with the community, I haven't met a more technical and a more robust community in my career so far. So the ability to glean information just by having conversations with people is so important, and we need that in order to continue to build a better product.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess that's the blessing of being early in a pretty tech forward space, is that we do have a lot of good feedback from people who are involved in either in the industry themselves or have done development work. So always good to hear from those. And I know I kind of generally have been sending you plenty of feedback from the community over the course of your stay thus far. But let's talk a little bit about some updates that have either freshly arrived on the platform or are about to. Obviously, we've hit a few minor delays from things that we were aiming for in December, right? So first of all, let's start out with search, since that is phase 1 done and dusted, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Phase 1 is complete. If I was being perfectly honest, we rolled that out because we knew that anything that we did on search was probably going to be already better than what we had. But there are enhancements coming through in the pipeline as we progress through the rest of the quarter, and we just want to make sure that everyone understands that we're trying to deliver the best quality product possible, and part of that is just continuously iterating on that program as well. So that is very important for us.
Perfect. And then phase 2 will consist of further enhancements to search, including advanced filtering. Do you have any other context to offer there?
Correct. So phase 2 is the next logical step. It's really about fortifying that underlying capability within search itself. So as much as we've promised, phase 1, phase 2 is coming. It's never phase never. We're going to keep rolling this software out and making sure that we're always enhancing things across the board. There could even be a phase 3, depending on the feedback and depending on the logs that we're looking at, right? If there are things that we've missed in phase 1 and 2, it'll always come through in several phases after that.
Perfect. Okay. Well, today is February 1st. Let's talk then about merge accounts.
Yeah, okay. We'll take it a couple steps back. I think, our target that we're tracking to in terms of development for the quarter, which is to the end of March, is tracking really, really well. And I just want to kind of make sure I remind or put it out there for everybody to kind of understand, since the last AMA or the Twitter spaces that we did, we've actually picked up a significant degree of momentum. So in the last 40 days, we've actually released 4 code releases. Some of them, like I said, contain features like search. Some of them actually contain enablements. But I think what's important to convey is the momentum. It's definitely there. In that space between now and when we did the Twitter space, that is an average of 1 code release every 10 days. So that is quite significant, and it really conveys, our intent. It really conveys the team's energy behind improving the product overall. So from a merge accounts perspective, it is up next. We wanted to make sure that we handled all your assets properly and securely, and that is part of that process is making sure that we're doing vigorous testing on the system in itself. So it really is the next thing coming up, and I'm sure all of you can look forward to that when it actually rolls out.
Perfect. So the article is out. The article is on basically what to expect, how to move your OMI. There will be a form in which you apply for the accounts that you want to merge into your main account. All of that is basically just waiting for deployment at this point based on final checks, right?
Yeah, correct. Okay. It's going to be a process, team. It's going to be a process. It has to be manufactured. The process has to be secure, and it has to be methodical. So a little patience. Once we've opened it up, is very much appreciated. But once it's opened up, it will happen, and it will continue to roll through the list based on the submissions that come through.
Got it. And just based on some of the questions that we've received when sharing that article of how people can prepare, what are some of the factors in which we are reviewing these merge applications as to how many you can merge versus what the security thresholds are, factors are. I think there's a lot of sense or sentiment that says some people are really looking forward to it because they've been asking for it. They have kids that are under 18 that can't KYC, or they kind of split the drop duties with their wife, and so they want to get everything on under one account. But then there's the other people that say, well, why are we enabling a bunch of people who were using bots to get all of their stuff into one account? Now, obviously, there's a fair amount of checks and balances in that that process. Can you tell us a little bit about what to expect there?
Yeah, good question. That is the sole reason why the process exists, and it's also the sole reason why we actually need some patience once that process begins, because in the background we're looking at account histories, we're looking at good behavior versus acceptable behavior versus I don't quite know about this one. And so for us, it's really about making sure that we're getting this as right as we possibly can. I'm going to be the first to put up my hand and say we probably will make mistakes along the way, but the best efforts is to make sure that we're going to put the best efforts possible to make sure that the right accounts are merged in the right way. As for a limit, we're looking at 4 accounts to be merged in at a maximum at this point in time, only because we don't want to slow the entire process down. We think 4 at this stage is probably the minimum level of operating capability that we can support. So it's just a matter of making sure that that lines up with our operating capacity in the background, right? But again, it's going to be a process, and we want to make sure that this is done properly.
Yeah, great. Okay, now the other big ticket item that everybody's been asking about, Master Collector Program, aka MCP. Do you want to give an update on this, or Dan, either one of you?
Yeah. I'll go, and then Dan can fill in. I think first and foremost, again, taking accountability, and during the AMAs I said weeks. It is weeks. It's kind of,
it is,
depending on how you look at it, but the accountability is there. We are slightly delayed, but not because of the reasons that everyone thinks it is. We are actually putting in a lot of effort to make sure that this is correct. This again deals with the amount of points that you've collected since the beginning of VeVe. So there's a fair bit of math and processing that needs to occur, and we don't really want to shortchange anybody. So it's important that we put in the right effort and the right focus on getting the math right and proper. It is phase 1, so it is the starting point of your MCP journey with VeVe in itself, and there will be quite exciting future phases to come once we have got this out, away, and into the hands of the users.
Great. Anything you want to add there, Dan?
I think Mitch pretty much covered everything, but maybe just a reminder to those who don't know that MCP is rolling out over a number of different phases, and this first phase is the ability for you to calculate your points retroactively, and then at that time you will get your rank, as in where you sit with all the other collectors out there. So we're going to find out who actually is the master collector. And then in addition to that, your MCP points. So that's going to be the first iteration going out. And just keep in mind also that, when we do roll this out, you can go to your profile screen, which has had a few aesthetic updates as well. And then from there, you can hit the calculate button. Now that calculation will take around 24 to 48 hours, sometimes maybe quicker, but that's because there is a lot of number crunching. I mean, you guys can imagine out there, if you've got thousands of collectibles and they've been brought on the drop and they've been brought on the market, and some are secret rares, some are low mints. So just, keep in mind that there is quite a bit of calculation going on in the background, and you will receive emails when your calculation is started, when it's finished and complete, etc.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you for that. Another one of the things that has kind of been lingering for a hot minute is the waitlist. What is the latest on the waitlist?
All right. So back to reference, in this quarter, waitlist, MCP, merge accounts are all at the top of our priority, because we know that these are features that are that the community has really been waiting for. So waitlist will very quickly follow MCP once we have kind of rolled MCP out. It is part of our priority. Like I said, right now everything is focused on delivering on these components that we have said we would deliver.
Yeah. Okay, because we've been talking about that one for a hot minute, can we talk about a little bit about what to expect from the waitlist? And obviously there's various types of waitlists out there, and we've seen everything from Top Shot to DC use certain types of waitlist functionality. I know I'm used to different types of waitlists from buying concert tickets or whatever the case is. Can you tell us just a little bit more about how it will work functionally for drops?
So the Oh, okay. Dan can go.
So the idea of the waitlist is really to make the drops more democratic. Like right now, there is some latency advantage just due to where our servers are located around the world. But because we have a global audience, we really need to make sure that everyone has an equal shot or an equal chance at securing the collectibles that they want on the drop. So we've taken a very simple approach to waitlist, which is that X number of minutes or so before the drop, the waitlist will open. You might have to correct me if I'm wrong, Mitch, but I think it's 30 minutes. At that time, you can basically go to the drop screen and then you can join the waitlist. Okay, that means that you are in line to potentially get selected for that item. Then 5 minutes before the drop takes place, the waitlist will close. You can still choose to exit the waitlist at that point, but within 5 minutes of the drop, you're not able to join. And then at the time of the drop, the system will randomly choose X number of users based on the additions, and then allocate those randomly. So there's no longer going to be any issue with latency. It's just a very, very fair and democratic system. Now, a couple of other things. So even drops where we sell individual collectibles, and that could be one or more within a drop, that will all still be waitlist. However, if it is not a blind box, then you will be able to join the waitlist for each of the individual collectibles you want. And let's face it, we're all going to go secret rare first, and then ultra rare, and then rare. And then with the blind box, that will happen exactly the same way that it does now, except everything will be done with the waitlist. At the time of drop, you'll be randomly selected and then randomly allocated a particular collectible. Now, I guess just the last thing is that, it is, I think the current drop system is, very adrenaline driving sometimes.
Yeah.
We did look at ways that we could try to keep that, but really ultimately we need to be rolling something out that is fair to everybody. So possibly not going to be as exciting, but at least, you'll know, especially for our international fans, that you will have a much greater chance of securing these collectibles you want.
Great. Okay, thank you so much for that. Back to Mitch. We are with Wire coming back online, and obviously let's quickly touch on that scenario. Thank you for your patience while we took a week or two down while we sorted that situation out. We're back up and payouts are running as expected. But with that, we put crypto pay-in back into beta. Mitch, can you talk a little bit about where we are in that process based on the kind of product roadmap feature rollout rather article that we put out? Where are we in the kind of beta testing?
Yeah, no problem. So Wire was both a good thing and a bad thing for us. We had to take it down, both payouts and crypto pay-ins, but we turned payouts back on as quickly as we could. Crypto pay, it was good from a crypto pay-in point of view, was because while we were rolling out crypto pay-in at the pre-Wire shutdown, we picked up a couple of issues that we needed to fix pretty much immediately. So what's happening right now is that we're taking this time, once payout was back up, to address some of these issues that we're seeing on crypto pay-in. But very soon we will just kind of resume the beta test based on the document that we pushed out. So we will still be looking for a critical mass. So it doesn't resume from zero, it resumes from the point at which we stopped. So we will keep rolling that out to make sure and to monitor that these issues that we have addressed are actually addressed. And as we roll out and hit critical mass, when we're comfortable, we'll probably open it up to the general population and the general family to access.
Got it. Okay. So that's the update on crypto pay-in coming soon. Dan, can you talk a little bit about, I know there were some, obviously concerns beyond the actual technical functionality about crypto payout. Can you talk a little bit about that and where we are in the grand scheme of enabling that for our users?
Yeah, the main thing, for us is really to make sure that the system is very secure, and that we are putting all of our best efforts in to prevent any kind of fraud or money laundering. For us, it's very important that VeVe platform remains very secure and a very safe place to to participate in this digital space. So, just to allude to what Mitch was saying earlier, obviously we've got our development teams working on features, but then behind the scenes, there are also a lot of enhancements going on. And then obviously we've, put a lot of time and effort into a lot of our bot protection, etc., which is, bots obviously are never going to get rid of, but they are, we've got a lot of great progress on, keeping bots, etc., down right now. So the main kind of thing that we're finishing up right now is the fraud protection in the platform. So we're making sure that people aren't washing money through or anything like that. So those are due to go out to production fairly shortly. And then as Mitch has alluded to, and in the release document that we published on our Medium blog, it's going to go through the standard different phases. So once we feel secure as a business that we have, a lot of the holes or the majority of the holes tightened up, we will then roll out crypto payout. But as a feature, that one's pretty much done and dusted. So it's not like we need to go back and do any development on it. It's just a matter of making sure that everybody is safe.
Yeah, and can I just add something to that? I think without kind of fudding anything, I think the most important thing to note is that what we're trying to do is to secure the platform, not just only for our safety, but also for yours. But our approach to that is really stacking a lot of these protection pieces into layers, right? So the first layer, second layer, third layer, as soon as we feel that there are enough layers there that give us that security that it's going to operate the way that we think it's going to operate, then we will open it up for sure.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. So that's it for the product updates. Now, obviously, there's a lot still in the works, right? And a lot to to do with kind of what this rebrand entails as well. So you'll notice, obviously, today, the updating of all the branding across all of our socials. We are also happy to announce that we are updating VeVe.me. We have a plan to migrate the Medium blog to the website. So it stays a little more in brand. We can offer some more things and functionality in terms of link backs and more contextual linking across all the content of all of the things that we've put out prior. So it really becomes more of a resource and a one-stop shop, VeVe.me. And then also we have some things obviously in the work beyond these big ticket items of merge accounts, MCP, etc. Can we talk a little bit about, and Dan, I'll give this one to you, about what our plans are for, preparation for bringing a lot of new users on the platform, updating the the onboarding process, whether that's for KYC or other little tweaks that we can make to make the kind of onboarding process easier for folks.
Yeah, 2023 for us is really about a big marketing year. Obviously, the last 2 years, building the platform, going through the growing pains, but now, we've got very solid team. People like Mitch, our new CTO, development team's growing very, very big. And part of that is, we really feel that we are ready to start scaling at a much bigger level now. So this is also part of the reason why we're doing the rebrand. We want to make sure that everything is fresh. Our brand is right across everything, everywhere, even in the video content, articles, everything that we put out. And then we're really going to put the accelerator down on the digital marketing side. And, from my perspective, we're going to, really start to target very specific collectors. Like there are millions, if not tens of millions of Disney fans out there, Disney collectors. And, while this digital collecting thing is still fairly new to most people, obviously not many people watching this video, but we really want to start getting digital collectors collectors in front of this new digital medium because, it's fun. VeVe has a lot of cool, fun features, great community, AR, virtual showrooms, etc. And it is just another way that fans can be part of the fandom. I think I've said before that most fans will have the T-shirts, the videos, the posters, the physical statues, and obviously the digital collectible. We want to make sure that that is a big part of their collecting journey as well. And then just to touch on the feature side of things and how we are going to help facilitate that on the app side, is we've both Mitch, myself, and the wider team have been working very hard on how we can improve and optimize the onboarding process. Last year, I can't remember what month it was now, we rolled out KYC, and we did that for many different reasons, to clean up the platform, make sure there were, try to keep out the bad actors, keep out bots, and that has worked very, very well. Where the probably the most friction is that a new user coming into the platform in order to participate has to KYC. And we can understand that from a collector's point of view. They come in, they see some cool stuff, they go to buy it, and it's like, show me your passport. It seems a bit like 1984. So yeah, we've been working very hard to both with legal team, jurisdictions, etc., to push that KYC requirement much further down the app. Much further down the user journey. So in the coming months, we'll see that users can come in, they can sign up, they can participate in drops, use their collectibles, AR, showrooms, and then when they get to the point of either selling or buying in the market or requesting a payout, it's only at that point that users will need to KYC. So we see this as going to be a big win for us. We're obviously going to be spending marketing dollars this year. We want to make sure that it's easy as possible and very well lubricated for people to get into the platform, buy their collectibles, and then really participate in the experience. And then when they want to take it to that next level, buy and sell, and then pay out, only at that point is KYC required.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, just to add on to what Dan's saying just before, and to kind of tack onto what I said earlier about layers of security, I think, if I were to paint a picture for everybody, it's important to just kind of frame it and imagine this multi-layer scenario where the stronger the layers and the more layers we put in, the better our ability to kind of open up these features and open up these capabilities. So part of that is also part of building that security layer and kind of leveling and stacking that on is to facilitate actions like these.
Yeah, obviously. And then, from a marketing standpoint, that makes my job a lot easier in that I can more easily get people onto the platform and not have to worry about them dropping off out of the process right away. So yes, obviously a lot in the works. We've been talking about kind of ramping up to 2023 as the year of marketing, but yeah, there's let me just be clear about what marketing means. It doesn't mean we're going to be have a Super Bowl commercial this year or anything like that. It's really about very specific targeting and streamlining onboarding user flows and maintaining a user journey once they're in the app for with all number of kinds of things, whether that's engagement, competitions, giveaways, more utility, things like upcoming, feature kind of tutorials, stuff like the VeVe-verse, etc. So all of that is kind of generally kind of ladder up into, being part of this new kind of rebrand / easy user flow for people coming in. So we're really looking forward to that. And I am in particular, obviously, in that. It's my job. But yeah, let's go ahead and keep moving here. There's a couple of things I wanted to quickly touch on. I think just generally from a communication and community engagement standpoint, we are making a renewed effort into putting out a lot more video content. So you may have heard that we did hire Corey from formerly of VeVe and 3 to come make videos for VeVe. Now you might be asking, like, where are those videos? Well, ladies and gentlemen, they are here. And Corey has really been hard at work with me and getting in front of the licensors and really kind of sharing with them our plans, and you'll get to see a lot of those beloved video or comic and collectible breakdown videos that he was so great at come over and happen for VeVe with a lot more lead time, some better assets, and really just a higher production value across the board. So Corey's a pro. We're really excited to get him going, and we hope you enjoy that series. Other things, we're going to have a lot more features and programs for the Discord from a community management standpoint. Discord has been really great for us in kind of onboarding people into the community, really kind of helping them through the journey, answering questions. We have a lot of activities for the Discord users to do, whether that's daily drop shows. Our mods are amazing. They answer any questions and help people out with issues. There's specific rooms for your interests, whether it's Disney or Marvel, comics, etc. Women X VeVe have a channel in the Discord, but we're really looking to kind of even ratchet that up even further with more functionality, giveaways, and even some great tie-ins with possibly our API to kind of do some kind of gated channels and things like that. Right now we kind of have a version of the silver and gold logo holder channels, and that's just basically on word that you have it, but we're looking forward to having some of those channels gated for holders of specific collectibles, for instance, in the future. So look forward to that. There's going to be a lot more coming in the Discord, and again, shout out to all our mods who really are putting in a lot of work into making sure it's a healthy and safe community there. Let's see, moving on. David, we haven't heard from you in a hot second. What do you have for us from a licensing and IP kind of standpoint? I know we have some really exciting drops and things that we announced at DCon that are coming very soon, but is there anything else that you'd like to share with us in terms of upcoming drops?
Yeah, so thanks for waiting. 2023, we obviously always, last year we touch on the pillars that we want to really get into. As part of the rebranding, we're making a lot more content and how we're going to be announcing the brand partners. With where we left last year on DCon, obviously we revealed the Lamborghini, and those type of assets, the collectibles, are really just getting polished and a final clean before we showcase in VeVe. And we're really excited because there's going to be a lot of interactive involved in that. A lot of you will have seen what we talked about last time in the update was you're going to see a lot more classic stuff coming. And here I can announce, we have movies and such as Rambo that's coming out onto VeVe. And you will see continuously some of these retro things throughout 2023. We are working very closely with a lot of our artists program, and we just wanted to review, what we've done the past 2 years to ensure that we are putting a great narrative, good story out there, bringing the best of the product. Something we're really proud of, and a lot of you who have purchased the for example, the Robocop, that is one, very high quality asset, and we want to start moving to that direction. This year, you're going to see a lot of collabs. We are working with our brand partners as well as artists that we have on VeVe that you're going to see collabs coming out. What you see this throughout already in the physical merchandise. What else is coming this year is digitals. We are working with a number of companies. A lot of them could be coming out Q2, Q3, and more be rolling out in the Q4 period. We just want to make sure that we are also releasing products to meet the current market demand. We don't want to flood the market. We understand there is only so much active user who has KYC. As we roll out more brands, we want to make sure that what Mitch and Dan have talked about is that on-board process, make it easier. We don't want to bring out a major brand just for the current market that we have. So, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be coming out with some of these exciting new videos for our fans coming out on these announcements.
Yes, absolutely. We have a few in the works. Some of them I'm very excited about. It's also exciting that we have not only Lambo, but Rambo. So like two solid bows in the course of a month or two here. So look forward for those. Another thing I just wanted to quickly touch on as we kind of move forward and progress and kind of take in the community feedback is the notion of kind of being a little more upfront with how we're putting out like blog articles, for instance. There's been always a question about wanting to know how many collectibles or comics that VeVe withholds on any specific drop. I mean, I think we've always just kind of talked about that's understood that we hold obviously 1 through 40 and then another random 50. So we're going to start now adding those to Medium articles so that everybody's aware up front about what the withholding on is on any particular drop. So just a small thing that we can do very easily to make sure that we're being very forthright with anything like that. And just as a reminder, any of those withholding do get are held for not only licensors, internal use, but also giveaways and promotions and things like mod rewards or any of the competitions and giveaways that we do on an ongoing basis that you'll still see a lot more of in 2023. So just wanted to quickly touch on that. All right. Well, I think we spent a good amount of time today kind of going over the rebrand and a lot of things coming up from a product standpoint. You got a pretty clean background there today, David. Did you have anything you wanted to share in terms of your collectible corner, or we got to skip that?
We'll do that. And while you touched the point about comics, we also want our audience to understand that 2023, we are going to be bringing out a lot more comic contents from other publishers. And, there are a lot of independent publishers. There's smaller one. Obviously, not every single publisher is going to be the tier one. We really want part of the success of the VeVe is about celebrating. And when we celebrate artists, new writers, and, we want to make sure that the content is a good mixture of it. So do look out. A lot of new of the first edition or first appearance of other IP and other property. We just want to make sure we time it right, how we release it and when we release it, to make sure that our audience, especially as well as those comic fans' audience, understand why this is happening and why we're doing these collectibles and how to get new users on board. Let's go back to the collectible corner.
Yeah, roll the intro. All right, what do we got?
All right, Dan, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I don't never like to follow you, Dave, because you've always got crazy stuff. So for me today, I want to talk about a new, well, it's actually not that new. I first heard about these guys when David and I were living in Taiwan, when we sort of first started the business, going back like three or 4 years ago. And I remember there was like a Comic-Con type event there, very small one, but when I was there, we found this sculptor who's created this world and this whole range of collectible statues called God Complex. Now, I'm a real like sci-fi nerd. I love cyberpunk, all of that kind of stuff. So these are the very, very detailed, beautifully designed characters that come from a like a cyberpunk type world. They've all got these like amazing sort of helmets, because in this world, the air quality is not possible to breathe. So yeah, they're sort of like part cyborg, part human, but very, very cool. So yeah, these guys are called God Complex, based out of Taiwan. Go and Google them. Here's just another one here. So these ones are the actual static statues, as in, they're not articulated. We can't move them around. But a lot of what these guys at God Complex do is they release these types of characters, but with a very high degree of articulation. So you can pose them, you can set them up, even right down to the fingers. If you love that kind of stuff, setting up your superheroes in different poses, I definitely recommend checking them out.
Very cool. Those are cool. Well, I have a couple of things that I got through Christmas I thought was pretty good. obviously one of them, many of you probably know, I love beer bricks. I managed to get one of these porcelain beer bricks, Soriyama, but it's not your normal plastic 400%. Very heavy, moves around, and I love this artist, a very well-known Japanese artist, Soriyama, does a lot of these robot look-alike. And then another thing which I talked about, collabs, and a lot of you guys probably know I love Gundam, and I've managed to found a Supreme collab with Bandai Gundam the other day. So that was very cool. So you see the brand here, the collab. Not sure if I'm going to make this one though. It's going to go into one of my open box piles. Yeah, so that's for me today. Next one, hopefully I'll be showcase some artwork or some comics. And yeah, what about Mitch? Have Mitch got something today?
I don't have a wall, but I have been to Disneyland at some stage. Let me just go get this.
Mitch is collecting feedback from the community.
Yeah,
That's
I was gonna
correct.
say.
But I also have a hand puppet. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Nice.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of a very productive community update video. Any parting words from Mitch or Dan? Mitch, got anything?
No, I just like David said, I think I know this is a little bit ironic, but a little bit of patience is very helpful, I feel. But also, trust. We are doing our jobs. I am trying to do my job the best that I possibly can. So allow me to have a bit of time to kind of move things along the way that we all know VeVe can move in terms of the direction. So yeah, that's my parting words. Thank you very much for your support so far, and hope to catch you in the next one.
Right on. That's nice, wise words from somebody who is, fresh on the scene, and definitely trying to help us all realize this is not a rug, right? It's not a rug. Let's just be honest here. Okay, Dan.
Yeah, just to carry on what Mitch said. We really are getting the wheels spun up in motion in the background. It's been a lot of hard work over the past 6 months to build out the teams, get all the systems and practices and processes in place. But yeah, for me personally, like this, I'm super excited about 23. We've really got great people on board. We've got the platform is significantly more stable, an amazing new rebrand, great people in our marketing and creative teams. And as David touched on, we are really working to make our collectibles a lot more premium. So you're going to see more animation, much more detailed. Some will even have like beautiful bases and environments, etc. So yeah, just as always, massive thank you to the community and everyone's support and quote unquote patience up till now. And yeah, really, really excited for the next year ahead. And just so everyone knows, our goal is and always has been to make VeVe like a pillar in the collectible world. And just super excited about the number of new people that we can bring into this space.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, with that, we're going to leave you with a VeVe Fam Highlight of the Month. This one from one of the more prolific kind of scene builders and a Vaultaholic, of course. Let's give it up for True Tech Junkie, always with the heat. So thank you very much, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one, and happy collecting.
See ya.